Some churches worship on Saturday instead of Sunday because of how they understand the Bible, church history, and obedience to God's commands. In Scripture, the seventh day, Saturday, is clearly identified as the Sabbath. Genesis says God rested on the seventh day and blessed it. The Ten Commandments later state, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy," and that Sabbath is defined as the seventh day of the week, not the first. For many believers, this is not symbolic or flexible. It is a specific day God set apart, and they believe no human authority has the right to change it. Jesus himself kept the Sabbath on the seventh day, and the Bible records that it was his custom to worship on that day. The apostles also continued this practice after his resurrection, preaching and worshiping on the Sabbath in synagogues and among believers. There is no direct command in the Bible that instructs Christians to change the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. Those who worship on Saturday often point out that Sunday worship developed gradually after the time of the apostles. Early Christians were mostly Jewish and continued observing the Sabbath. As Christianity spread among Gentiles and separated from Judaism, Sunday began to gain prominence, partly because Jesus rose from the dead on the first day of the week. However, the Bible never calls Sunday the Sabbath, nor does it say it replaced the seventh day. Historical records show that it was centuries later, under the influence of Roman culture and church authority, that Sunday was officially established as the primary day of worship. Some churches believe this shift was driven more by tradition, politics, and attempts to distinguish Christians from Jews than by clear biblical instruction. Saturday worshiping churches also emphasize that the Sabbath is not just about rest but about loyalty and obedience. They believe keeping the seventh day is a sign of honoring God as Creator and respecting His unchanging word. To them, worshiping on Saturday is not about being different or legalistic. It is about following what they see written plainly in Scripture. They often argue that God does not change His commandments, and that faith in Jesus does not cancel obedience but deepens it. From this perspective, grace and obedience are not enemies. Salvation comes through Christ, but love for Him is shown by keeping His teachings. At the same time, many of these churches acknowledge that sincere Christians worship on Sunday out of tradition, upbringing, or church teaching, not rebellion. They usually stress that God judges the heart and that true faith is more than a calendar day. Still, they feel compelled to practice what they believe is biblically correct, even if it places them in the minority. For them, Saturday worship is about faithfulness rather than popularity. In the end, the reason some churches worship on Saturday is simple but deeply rooted. They believe the Bible consistently points to the seventh-day Sabbath. Jesus honored it, the apostles kept it, and no clear biblical command ever changed it. Whether one agrees or not, their practice is not random. It flows from Scripture, history, and a desire to obey God as they understand His word.